Well, hello there, gamers. What's going on? I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that intro. Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and we are continuing the conversation for BioWare. But we're not talking about Dragon Age, to the surprise of some of you. We're not even talking about Mass Effect, to the surprise of probably most of you out there. Not even Knights of the Old Republic, Matty's favorite BioWare IP. No, friends. We are talking about the other one. We're talking about Anthem. Okay, and it's been a while since we talked about Anthem. You may be wondering, Matty, you're an RPG guy. Why are you talking about Anthem? Well, there's a major decision coming for this game that can impact all of the other BioWare RPGs, and it's happening this week. So I figured, as someone with a platform, this is the time where I voice my opinion to the masses, and then you can all speak as well. Now, in all seriousness, decisions coming this week, and Anthem's future is on the line. I'm going to tell you why they should not continue with this game at all. And also, they need to take the Christmas decorations down. Anyway, Anthem, for those who don't know, is trying to do a relaunch with this thing called Anthem Next. They've been providing updates on blog posts on what's happening with Anthem, from loot changes to gameplay loops and ideas that BioWare has for the game. And they've been trying to go ahead and be transparent with these changes, get feedback, and eventually have an Anthem 2.0, a relaunch of sorts, to reignite the fan base and give BioWare that live service game to get them that good cash. But it just doesn't seem to have caught on. The timing for a relaunch, I believe, has come and gone, and it's been gone for a while. And I would like to see BioWare put all of their efforts into what is their next project, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Get that right. Don't screw that up. That is one of the most treasured gaming trilogies. And then after that, take all those minds and put them on Dragon Age 4. So, what's happening with Anthem? Well, a report has come out that a decision is being made this week by EA. That report comes from Bloomberg with the article titled Electronic Arts to Decide Fate of Anthem Game this week. Electronic Arts will hold a meeting this week to determine whether it will try to continue to create a new version of the failed online game Anthem, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. This week, EA executives will review the latest version of Anthem Next and decide whether to expand the team or abandon the project, said the people. So it's a do or die situation here, who asked not to be named, discussing private information. The Anthem Next team includes about 30 people, BioWare said last year. People familiar with the project said it will need to expand to at least triple that in order to produce new content and continue attempting to overhaul the game. EA has not yet indicated whether it's willing to commit to that kind of budget to revive a maligned game. Anthem Next includes major changes to the game's core systems and user interface, the people said. It's not clear if or when these changes will be implemented in the version that's currently available to players. So there's a lot to unpack here, despite it being a very short read. Now, I don't think money is a problem for EA in the scheme of things. They just spent $1.2 billion to acquire Codemasters, a racing game studio. And I'm going to be honest, as much as I enjoy the occasional racing game, I don't think that's like a big area that really needs addressing, especially with something like Forza existing. And of course, PlayStation has their own driving series. I think Gran Turismo is what it's called. So there's plenty of racing games on the market, and EA's like, 1.2 billion FIFA Ultimate points coming at you. So yeah, I think they got a lot of money to spare, and I think they could get this done, but it's about whether or not EA really wants to give it a chance and take the surefire route, which would be allowing BioWare to just go off and make single-player RPGs. I think that's when they're at their best. And yes, I am considering the likes of Andromeda and Inquisition in there. Now, I know Inquisition wasn't this big failure to many. I didn't think it was a big failure. It's just that it consisted of a lot of aspects in the game, you know, its gameplay loop mostly, that I did not like. But there are things about that game I did like. More notably is Andromeda. Both these two games I liked way more than anything Anthem ever provided me. Now, that's not to completely bash Anthem. I thought Anthem was fun to play. The feeling you had when you were flying around and going crazy, it was good, man. It was solid, but there's no loop there. The loading screens, the story wasn't interesting. The writing wasn't that great, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot we could go on about that I don't think worked out in Anthem's favor. Not much of an end game, of course. Just, it's actually the only BioWare game, now that I think about it, where I just completely skipped out on it. Like, even Andromeda, with all my worries, and finally put my hands on it, and I was like, this isn't that great. I still saw it through. I have not missed a BioWare launch ever. Anthem is the only time I've really done that. So I think that's saying something. As someone who really adores a lot of the BioWare IP, I just went, your new thing? I'm good. Now, this information that's being presented is that Anthem Next has a 30-person team, which probably has expanded a little bit over time as they've ramped things up. But right now, 30 people is the number we're going to roll with. And you're saying that you're going to need 90 people to get this game off the ground, to get that sweet live service cash. And to me personally, I can't help but look at that and think to myself, look, we saw what happened when you really stretched things thin with Mass Effect Andromeda. Haven't y'all learned yet that maybe we should just go ahead and stop this Anthem business, take all of these employees and potential future employees and put them on the likes of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Make sure you get that right. One of gaming's best trilogies. It cannot come out and be a Halo Master Chief Collection at launch, by the way. I know Halo MCC is a lot better now. What I'm saying is this game cannot have a disastrous launch. It will kill BioWare. A lot of, the amount of bad PR that would bring. Make sure that's good. And then, most importantly, I think, is getting Dragon Age 4 right. That's like, everyone's looking at that as, that's BioWare's bounce back. It's the same thing with Bethesda and Starfield. Like, everyone's looking at Starfield not as, what could this be? Ooh, I'm excited. It's, what are you going to do to earn me back? I'm ready to love you. What are you going to do to earn me back? I at least approach BioWare with that mindset. Of course, Legendary Edition, it's a little different, right? We know what we're getting here. It's a fantastic trilogy. It's going to tell us a good story. There's lots of excellent choices, great gameplay. It's all there, so you know you're getting something good. It's like a free little, okay, you got me there. But with the next true game from them, that's where everyone's going to be looking. But why not take all of these heads, all of these creative minds, and put them into Dragon Age? I don't know why that isn't an idea that's floating across the table here. Now, since EA, seemingly according to this report, isn't really convinced, I feel like this is going to go the way of they're going to can the project because they have yet to be convinced. They haven't dedicated a big team to the entire project. And I do think they have to be totally aware that unless they see something and go, this is going to win a lot of people over, that their time is up and it's time to move on to other stuff that people are way more interested in. Now, a lot of people like to scapegoat EA, and I'm no defender of EA, by the way, whatsoever. This is a fact. EA gave BioWare 7-8 years to figure out what was going on with Anthem. They just let them try to figure it out, and they still couldn't. And now here we are, multiple years later, and they're about to come back and say, hey, after this horrible launch, you clearly didn't get it right. We gave you a ton of time, and we let you do your thing. You still messed up. Now here we are, years later, you want to do your relaunch. I just feel like even if a lot of the EA higher-ups have changed, that they're going to look at this and go, dude, it's time to move on. We're talking about a company that was totally happy to lose Star Wars exclusivity, okay? They have completely different plans, and I don't think Anthem is a part of that. I would like to see BioWare try a new IP sometime down the line, but right now, to me, it looks like, you know what? You got to get Mass Effect right, and you've got to get, of course, Dragon Age 4 right. I think those are the most important ones, but at this point in time, I would say just leave Anthem. Leave Anthem. I know it sucks, right? It's a failure. You want to try to resurrect it. You want to have that bounce back. Gaming's no stranger to bounce backs. No Man's Sky being probably the most popular bounce back. Fallout 76 is enjoying a little bit of its bounce back, and if that game can bounce back, any game can. But the difference between, say, a Fallout 76 and an Anthem is, to all Fallout 76 got wrong and was horrible at its core, it had continuous updates. It started to get a roadmap going that spring after the game had come out, and they stuck with it, and they listened to their community, and then they did Wastelanders, and then they did Steel Dawn. They continued to build and grow, whereas Anthem, it's dead silent. Nothing happened. They left the Christmas decoration. Did I say decorations? They left the Christmas decorations up for months after Christmas. This game was forgotten about by the people working on it, okay? That says about all you need to know about Anthem. And to me personally, it's not me wishing anyone ill at BioWare and the hard work that they put into it. It's just that let it go, because it's taking you away from what's clearly important. There's not going to be enough of a team to quickly overhaul this. And I genuinely think, not even just because I'm running an RPG channel where most of my audience is interested in the BioWare single player aspect, but the time has come and gone. People have lost their interest, and they want you just to get to work on the things that we know and love. And maybe one day that Dragon Age Legendary Edition, but that's a whole other story. Plus, when the winds of change blew through BioWare late in December, and they lost Casey Hudson and Mark Dara, also, one of the higher-ups working on Anthem had left and been replaced. And I'm talking about Anthem Next. So they had lost major staff for that. I don't know how someone can step into those shoes and go, okay, what are we doing here? And, oh, we're maybe not going to fix these things. So you can't really overcommit to big changes because it may be a colossal waste of your time. Or do you do that so that you're fighting for that chance for that game? I don't know, man. I just feel like with this new version, how much can you change to win people over? I would like to see that, of course. That would be nice to see, but we're not EA, so we may never know. But I can't help but look at this situation from the outside and say, you know what? Let's just leave it be. Let's just leave it be, because I think no matter how, I don't think there's been enough time and enough people on the project to make this dramatic shift that would really change people's minds. But crazier things have happened. EA can certainly absorb this blow and say, hey, go ahead. Here's 60 more employees. We're going to do Anthem Next, and we're going to see how it goes. And if they do that, I'll remain open-minded. I'll give it a shot, see what it's all about. But as it stands now with BioWare, I mean, just look at the hype that was created by Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I know we can say, oh, nostalgia bias, and that's totally fair. But when you look at something like even Dragon Age 4, people are digging through those trailers, discussing the game. They're excited for it. They're anticipating it heavily. There's a different level of excitement between prior to Anthem and even afterwards, the discussion of maybe how they're going to relaunch it versus what's happening now with Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Like, EA has to be able to see that at least at the bare minimum. And then Dragon Age 4, where the internet gets super excited about that game, man. Maybe I'm just, an outlier, but I feel like, Dragon Age has had a lot of up and downs, so I don't get as excited about it, but I'm definitely curious. But still, the conversation's there. So that's where I stand on everything, and I want to go ahead and just leave it in your hands now. What do you think about the future of BioWare, the future of Anthem, and how this can impact the single-player RPGs that BioWare is working on? Let me know. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons, all the members here on this channel who just continue to push the levels higher and higher. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.